Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts.
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Well, Happy New Year, Pioneers. We are finally back at it. Welcome to the Disney Hour Express, episode 99.
And it's 2025. Oddly, if you add those two digits up together, you get my age.
Okay, great.
So that's how old I am.
I didn't really think about any of those things, but that's wonderful.
I'm old. What about your age? You have fun facts of your age?
No fun facts. We don't need to talk about my age.
I mean, you just take away the 20 and that's your age.
Oh, thanks. So anyways, welcome to a new year. We hope that we will excite you this year with all of our awesome news that we bring you and all of our weird stories. But
we did take a break,
yes.
A little bit, a 2-week break. The chaos and the fun and the excitement of the holidays just overwhelmed us. It got to us. We wanted to just actually be part. We wanted to take time out and just enjoy everything that our family could offer and did offer, and so it was a fun-filled holiday season for us.
Oh, it was wonderful. We had the best time, and I'm already thinking about how we're taking down Christmas today. It's a little blue, but you know what? Let's make Valentine's Day vomit all over this house. What do you think? Lots of hearts and pink and red.
I think hearts pass for me.
Okay. So we're going to go backwards a little bit and just talk about everything that happened in 2024. I feel like it was a really big year.
And then we're also you're going to look back because you're a pessimist. What? I'm an optimist. And I look forward.
I don't know about that. I
feel
like it's quite opposite.
Is
but
always half full.
We are going to talk about 2025 and everything to expect in 2025 as well.
First, we're going to go back.
Yeah, let's talk about the past. When we get into our time machine, right?
Well, you're 1.21 gigawatts?
Exactly.
All right, I like it.
So, in the beginning of 2024, we said adios to Park.
Brown's hair.
What?
I wish I had Doc Brown's hair. Anyway, go.
Oh. All right. We said adios to park reservations on January 9th. It was so exciting because we thought park reservations were quite annoying. Now, that being said, annual pass holders still need to pay park reservations, and there are other circumstances that you might. But if you have your regular vacation package with your tickets, you no longer need to make those. And now you can park hop whenever. So 2 p.m. park hop time is irrelevant.
I don't even remember what park reservations were. I could barely remember them.
They also...
Yeah.
Let's
keep moving.
He's got a lot going on over there. Lots of comments.
Moving.
Okay. So they also had the first free dining plan come back in the summer of 2024. And this was since COVID, right? Because the dining plan was gone for a while. And then it came back as the free dining plan. And it definitely boosted sales for us. It was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. So very exciting. It worked out really, really well. Another thing, the cruise lines opened up Lookout Cay in the Bahamas. That opened, and it was a little rough.
Lookout Key, some might call it.
I
always forget that. I always forget it, and then I wait till you say it, and then I correct you because I'm annoying like that.
Nope, I appreciate the corrections. So yeah, it was a little rough. I watched a lot of videos about the opening day, and the mile hike from the ship to the actual shore.
It was insane.
In the blazing sun was just like not.
Did you imagine getting off a boat and having to walk a mile to get to any shore activities? Like to get this, like, sure, you're walking along a long pier for the majority of it. That's crazy.
It's quite the letdown because if you think about it, you're probably carrying your bag with whatever. And
You're probably in flip flops or something. And
Yes.
no,
exactly.
and then like your kids are complaining, like, I don't want to walk a mile.
Right, no. And then once you got there, in the opening videos, they were just having so many issues with black, like the
flies.
the
Yeah,
black flies on all the food. Like they were putting fans on the food and such, and it was definitely stomach churning video footage.
I think they have since figured it out.
Yeah.
They have done, because obviously Disney's full of all types of every specialist you could imagine. So they did figure out how to keep them away. But
the reviews are still mixed, right? Some people love it. Some people say, what a bore. Once you get all the way out there, there's nothing to do. But I highly doubt that that's the truth, because Disney is full of things to do. You just have to make sure you know where it's at, right? So anyways.
Okay.
Communicore Hall and Plaza opened in June 10th to be more exact, right? I have nothing to say about this. We walked through, we saw a little bit of the, it was some sort of Latin show happening.
Correct. It was like, because they were hosting an Encanto show that we kept missing, even though it played like 6 times during the day. Right. And so then they just switched over. Then it was just it was a Latin band that was playing there.
So not super exciting. We didn't even go into Communicore Hall as far as I remember.
Correct, we did not, and so that's actually part of. I'll step in for a second. That was going to be part of my news around the world segment, but I'll go into it now. They kind of like they've unofficially word's gotten out that Communicore Hall, right? Because it was just hosting. It was open during the Festival of the Holidays.
Yeah, and they had that huge gingerbread.
And that's exactly what they're going to be doing with it. It's only going to be open during the festivals.
Okay.
So we didn't. So yeah,
there was no festival when we were
correct.
Going,
there was no festival, so that's why there was nothing there. It was like hosting like a meet and greet, but it was like that was just like a temporary thing. So it's only going to be open during the festivals, and they're just going to keep it to like have something in that space at that time. So there's the Festival of the Arts is coming up. They're going to have, I believe it's going to be some type of a Broadway exhibit. I'm not really sure exactly what, but yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, there you go. Tiana's Bayou officially opened in June at Walt Disney World and November in Disneyland. They... like the anticipation for this opening was so big. Remember they had like those YouTube Imagineers specials, and then they had the really amazing show with Karina, the welder and blacksmith from New Orleans. It was a really good show. Yeah. She forged the weather vane for Tiana's Bayou. If you have a chance to look this up, look it up, because she's adorable and I like the story. It was really good. And they had like shows and backgrounds on the music and how it was made. Yeah, there was just a lot that you could get outside of the parks about this opening.
And I think it was partly to do with they were trying to change the narrative on it, right? Because it had that kind of negative Song of the South connotation to it. So they were just trying to like, let's push it out. It's Tiana's Bayou. Yeah, I've never heard of anything else being there before that.
Yep.
And it wasn't. Again, reviews have been kind of mixed on it, right? People seem to like, it seems like there's people like to be critical about it.
They love it.
We enjoy it. Yes. We enjoy it.
Listen, I loved it. Yeah. I got an opportunity to go on it twice in the last year. And one time I caught the fireworks right at the top. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was really great. I really appreciated that.
The experience. I mean, I loved Tiana's Bayou. I had no complaints about it. So that being said, we went to Disney over the summer and I got super sick on my 40th birthday at Disney.
That she did.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, we all did. But,
yes. Well, but on my actual birthday is like when I started to get sick, and I was so stubborn. I was like, I am not sick. I am fine. And just like kept on chugging through. Yeah. It was a tough one. So we enjoyed our trip though immensely. Got to stay over at the boardwalk. Enjoyed all the very cool boardwalk shows and whatnot. It was a great time.
Yeah, and you could hear more about. We recorded. That was like our Disney trip special for anyone like just tuning in for the first time. we kind of record our days as they happen, and we talk about them in depth.
We do. Now, one of them, I definitely fell asleep during recording. That's
You'll see how sick
and I am so sorry. So it might not be that exciting, but we do give you lots of details.
But to be honest with you, she normally falls asleep when I start talking.
I definitely do not.
It does. I bore her beyond to sleep. That's what happens.
Listen. All right. Let's keep trucking along. DVC Fort Wilderness Cabins opened at the beginning of July.
Woo-hoo.
Now, have you heard a lot of reviews about these
Nothing.
cabins? I've heard nothing. Zilch. They look great. They look cool. One of my little questions, I guess, comments, is that when looking at these, it looks like the bed and the bunk beds are in the same room.
Okay.
And then you have another pull-out bed, I think, in like the living room. I don't remember. I think the old cabins were like that too. And I just think it's always interesting to have that kind of space and then make everybody sleep in the same room. Anyways, that's my one comment.
The beds and the bunk beds. And that's, oddly enough, that was part of, right, I think the Wilderness Lodge also had those.
Yeah, the beds and bunk beds, but they no longer have the bunk beds at Wilderness Lodge, which is kind of a bummer. Kids love bunk beds, in my opinion.
So do I.
Yeah,
that bunk.
All right. So Country Bear Jamboree was updated and opened in mid-July. It had closed on January 27th to undergo the refurbishments. And now there's new music and updated animatronics. Still just as creepy as it always been.
Creepy bears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And on a side note, because it's like right next door, basically, the shooting gallery that was part of Frontierland there, that has closed, right? That closed as well, and it's going to be, I don't believe it's reopened yet. It's going to be a DVC lounge.
That's right. They're loving their lounges in 2025, but I'm sure you're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
So goodbye to Genie Plus and hello to MultiPass.
Lulu Dallas.
Genie Plus is the old name for Disney's ride reservation system, and the old name would be FastPass. So
the older old, I like it.
So MultiPass functions essentially the same way. It's easy, but it allows for pre-booking now before your trip, which is what we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
This was a midsummer update, which kind of made all of our agents a little bit of in a tizzy, because
I mean that's when everyone's kind of going and. Like there's all rules changing and what
was more of a tizzy we'll talk about later, which is Buco bucks for Mirror Pass. Anyways, all right, so the Cake Bake Shop finally opened with absurd prices, nearly $25 for a slice of cake.
Bananas.
Holy cannoli.
And it was like $20 for like an egg sandwich. It was like
So the reviews are pretty good, but even in the reviews, people cannot stop talking about the price. I mean, they're like, for 4 slices of cake, it was $98, but it was good. Really? I would really just prefer my Duncan Hines cake. Thank you very much. I could just go ahead and
I'm down
that for a good $3.
No, I'm with it, but I get it. People want to try their fancy cakes, and it's in a deluxe resort, and it's supposed to be, top of the line deluxe resort that we stayed at. It wasn't open at the time, but the one thing we did it was like one of our major complaints was the lack of food options there, like right within your vicinity. There's no quick service, and so now you have this cake bake shop that's just really expensive.
It was bad news. All right. So then in November, the Disney Treasure was set sail. Well, in really mid-December, the ship was in New York City for the christening. And it was like the most amazing show that I've seen. Like they had the whole drone show above the ship for the christening. And I talked about this at the time, how the drones made the champagne bottle, which then smashed onto the ship and popped into bubbles. And I was like, that's genius.
That's Imagineering.
Go Disney.
I want to know, how did the priest get the oil on top of the ship's head for the christening?
I don't know. Maybe they should have droned a freeze. That would have been like so
boy.
controversial and funny at the same time. Okay, so now we're to the Premier Pass. It hit the market. Got an extra 400 something bucks. This started out with deluxe resorts only, and it is a you don't have to reserve anything pass, right? You just get to go on one ride each. Now, of course, it's not like all the rides. There's a few that are included in the Premier Pass, which is kind of funny. But most of the rides, and you just don't have to wait. The only rides, our clients loved this. They absolutely loved it, said it was amazing. The longest line that they waited in was for Tron, which was 10 minutes. So it's well loved.
I mean, and you're still going through the lightning lane, right? You're still it's not a separate line.
No.
So like even though they waited 10 minutes, it was just due to a lack of people not being there at the lightning lane at the moment. We've gotten
in lightning lanes that we've had to still wait.
Yeah, we still had to wait, you know. But like I said, the option to not have to plan anything and to just kind of go for it is amazing. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yes, it is. So it's something that you plan for, right? We always say you need to put about $400, $500 aside for your multi-pass or whatever you want to do. If you're into the Premier Pass, you're going to have to put a little bit more aside.
Yeah, it's like $400 a person
$400 per
person at Magic Kingdom Park.
Now, at Magic Kingdom, right. At Epcot and other ones, it's a little bit of a different price.
I could only see it ever, forget Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, I could obviously that's where it sells out the most. I don't think I've heard of it selling out at Hollywood Studios.
I haven't experienced that, but maybe it might. I mean, May the 4th could be a big day.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of queues at Hollywood Studios, so, and there are a lot of popular rides. So
yeah. So one of my questions about 2024 was, did the Voyage of the Little Mermaid ever reopen? Because they said in 2024 it would, but nope, it closed in 2020. And we've heard a lot of promises about it. We've heard stories and all sorts of things, and that it was going to be updated and so good because the new Little Mermaid movie came out in the meantime since 2020. That was like
6-7 years ago. Right?
Yeah, and we haven't seen anything yet.
You're
so
right.
Animation Courtyard's looking all sad and lonely. Last up, and I probably missed a few things, but this was a big detail, that the DVC Tower at the Polynesian opened in December, and that was one of the big openings. It also had a bar that opened there. They were very excited about that.
I would just like to point out, when I said sure, I didn't mean like I wasn't agreeing with you that you missed a lot of things. It's just sure. You know, there's stuff you're gonna miss. Like, you know, there's a lot that went on in the 12 months and minor, but that was a good wrap up.
Yes. Well, so I wanted to go over my predictions for last year now, because you never share your thoughts. I didn't have your predictions for last year.
And I probably didn't give predictions because my prediction is that I won't give predictions.
Oh, I like it. So my prediction last year was that Communicore Plaza was going to open by the Flower and Garden Festival. I just couldn't see my way around it not being opening, because you want to talk to all the gardeners, right? Apparently they didn't, because it didn't open until June. So the Flower and Garden was long gone by then, and so on and so forth. Tiana Bayou Adventure, I said, was going to open in early summer, and it did. It opened in late June.
And that was also kind of like a wish, because she knew when we were going. So she was like, yeah, okay. Early summer, it better be open by then. Otherwise, I'm boycotting.
Jollywood Nights will get a revamp, but still be around. That was my prediction, and it stayed somewhat the same.
Yeah.
The Star Cruiser. Did we even talk about the Star Cruiser once in 2024?
And that's
nothing.
That's because Disney hit it.
There is nothing happening with the Star Cruiser. Even with all the updates that we've heard about from DVC, none of them are near the Star Cruiser or about the Star Cruiser. I'm a little sad about this. What are they doing over there?
They're staying on this planet. That's all I know. They're not traveling.
Now, the annual pass prediction I had, I thought they would release an additional annual pass for different tier levels, because they had like the one for Florida, and then they had the outside Florida, which was the Incredipass for $14.49. I was wrong. Now the Incredipass is $15.49 with tax. So our plus tax. So no, I didn't really have a good prediction on that. I thought that the travel was going to be bigger and better and everything, and I think it was. I think a lot of people still traveled. My predictions are a little different about the Disney travel this coming year, but we can talk about that a bit later. So there you have it. 2024 was a great year for Disney, despite all the naysayers and whatnot. They did great. I think they did great.
They did the best.
They did their best.
They did what they could.
I'm not excited. Oh yeah, I didn't even say we said goodbye to the what is it called? The disability pass.
The DAS pass. Yeah,
that was hugely controversial, which actually made a lot of Disney podcasters jump off from podcasting about Disney because they were so upset by it.
Yeah.
We were kind of on that board of being like, wow, this is not good for everyone. And it's the experience is probably humiliating because now they're getting a professional on there to question you about what you think is wrong with yourself. So what a professional is, whether they have an actual doctor degree or anything is questionable. So that was a big controversial thing of 2024. Will they change that in 2025? Probably not. They're going to keep it here, and they're just going to keep offering these really expensive options to skip the lines.
Well, on that note, thank you for that wrap up. 2024 and
yes, sir.
In about 20 minutes. You could cut out, maybe I'll do an edit where I don't talk and it'll be like 12.
Oh, everybody wants to hear you.
So that was very good. Now I actually, now I'm looking ahead, right? And we're looking forward. And what we could do to look forward is I actually sent Abby notes on this. Now they are all handwritten by me. No, some copy and paste works as well. But so that's something to look forward to. Now, if you can catch what I've seen in the Disneyverse all through social media, and a lot of these blogs are putting out these articles, and sometimes they're just like clickbaity and they're trying to get your attention. But it seems to be the trend is that everyone's asking, should I skip going to Disney in 2025, or should you skip going to Disney in 2025?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, because you know what? And as you're going to see, what you're going to talk about, there's a lot of construction that's going to be happening in almost every Disney park.
Yeah.
So you're going to be dealing with construction and stuff, and a lot of it's going to last throughout the year. But anyway, so we're going to get into that. These are in no order of release date, but I will tell you when they're projected to come out. So just be aware. I'm not as organized as Abby was with going through the year chronologically. So coming to Disney, right? And a big thing about Disney is their parades throughout their parks. There's a new nighttime parade happening.
I'm so excited.
The Disney Starlight.
Yes, we are seeing this.
She has made that. It's been almost a decade, right? Since the last.
It's been a really long
they
time.
said it was 2016, I believe, that there was a nighttime parade. So this is going to be kind of, this is a big deal. And parades are huge, and the night is huge. So it's not just fireworks now. There's a parade, and you'll still get fireworks.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I think this is going to make it feel more like a party night, right? Like, we need this back. I need this in my life. Yeah,
and it's supposed to be cool and a lot of lights. And they showed kind of artist renderings of the floats, and it's going to be like Encanto and Moana, and they all look really cool. Yeah. I'm excited to see it, and I'm not a big parade guy.
But I'm also not a fan of standing in the heat in the bright sun daylight for parades, which we never do. So I'm excited to pump up the excitement for the kids. There's a lot of excitement in my words right now. Excitement.
She's ready to pump up that volume.
Okay, done.
Pump it up.
My lips.
Pump up the volume. Now we're going over to Animal Kingdom, and there's a lot going on in Animal Kingdom. One of the things is that the base of the Tree of Life, the theater down there, which houses the show, It's Tough to Be a Bug. Tough to Be a Bug is closing, right? So that's going to be, we're going to talk about that next year. Yeah. We're going to be looking back at 2025, and Abby's going to be like, well, remember when Tough to Be a Bug closed?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, I talked about it in my looking forward. Anyway, I feel like we're in a paradox right now. So that's going to be closing, and then there's going to be a new Zootopia show.
I'm excited
opening.
for the music for this.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Now, there's no hard date. They said it's going to be winter 2025, which we're in right now. We're in winter of 2025, but they haven't officially said anything yet. So it doesn't. Maybe it might be around for a little bit more. If you're going to Animal Kingdom, if you're going to Disney, and you like that ride, and your kids are brave, go check it out. Our kid didn't like it, so we would not be going to it. Even though I personally think it is a pretty cool show. Mm-hmm. I like the effects and the how it blends the 4D and everything into it. So Zootopia, Better Zoogether is what it's called, and so that's going to show you all 7 biomes of Zootopia. It's going to bring you through to Judy Hopps and the other guy. I can't remember his name. I think it's going to coincide with the release of Zootopia 2, which is coming out in November. Mm-hmm. So I could kind of see it, Tattoo Bug closing sometime in the next 2 months. And then, they take 6 months or so to reopen it. Anyway.
Okay.
So that's something. This is you hear this? Toot toot. That's your last call for going to attractions in Dinoland. Because
goodbye, Dinoland.
Goodbye, Dinoland. What's happening now, right? On January 13th, you're going to get Triceratops Spin, Fossil Fun Games, and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures, which is a gift shop, all going to close permanently on January 13th. And that's going to start the revamp of that land, which is going to be turned into Tropical Americas. Tropical Americas is going to have an Encanto ride. Mm-hmm. It's also going to have a new Indiana Jones ride, which is going to be put into Dinosaur. Mm-hmm. Now, Dinosaur itself is staying open. Disney hasn't said when it's closed yet. Disney, I should say this. Let me specify. Dinosaur will be closing at some point. They haven't said when. It's staying open for now, but all they're saying is that 2025 will be your last time, the last year you'll be able to ride Dinosaur.
Aww.
Which, unless you think about it and you're already going back in time, then you come up. So maybe you're technically riding it twice each time you get on it. I don't want to get into that. Again, we're going into a time paradox and I don't like it.
Got it.
So that's your last chance to ride that ride. If you're going to Animal Kingdom, check out Tough to Be a Bug, check out Dinosaur. Mm-hmm. You probably don't want to check out the other stuff because there was all these weird games that just no one went I was always they were oh, let's play a game. The kids would walk by no, we're not playing a game in Disney. We're not paying more money to play a game to get a stuffed animal. Forget it.
Was such it just, I feel like tumbleweeds were always rolling through that area. Because no parent wants to agree to that.
And they even tried putting snacks around it and the treats weren't even good enough to get you to stay. So anyway, people seem to like that fossil, the dig part. We've never participated in it, and that's going to stay open for a little bit longer as well. Check all that out, but it will be going. Over in Hollywood Studios, we have Disney's Villains Unfairly Ever After showing up. And that's going to be over in I believe they're calling it the Sunset Theater.
Okay.
Which is what we sometimes call Animation Courtyard. Yeah. It's basically going to be replacing the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy.
Oh, okay.
That's over there. It's kind of to the right.
Okay.
And so it's going to be replacing that. Disney Villains are getting a big push.
Yeah.
To the parks, right? They're coming back. Some would say that it might possibly be a little bit too late. like this should have happened a while ago. The Descendants, which is essentially a mixture of the Disney villains and then their offspring, which start bad and then turn good, is a huge hit, right? Our kids love it.
Absolutely.
Nieces love it. It's huge. Rise of Red this year was a big deal. They probably wanted more villains in the parks, right? So you could kind of see those people that you now are that so scared of because they're kind of thing. Anyway, this show is supposed to be pretty cool. It's supposed to blend. It's going to be like a live action screen show, and it's going to take the place of this. I've never been to Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I'm not like a huge cars guy myself. We've never. Have you ever gone?
Nope.
No. She didn't even know where it was. She looked at me like I. Anyway,
like, is that a thing?
So and then obviously one of the things that it's not even on my list because of the fact that it's not opening this year, is the Disney Villains is going to have its own land.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a much bigger.
But we're going to see the construction walls this year.
Of something. We're definitely going to see, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Back over in Magic Kingdom, Pirates of the Caribbean, a much beloved ride. Don't worry, that's staying open. But they're going to be opening. They're doing a lot of renovation in that area. They closed the gift shop that was next to it. You'll see there's lots of construction walls because they're opening a Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar.
So I have lots of questions about this.
Okay.
I appreciate a bar, but is this the place? I mean, right on the cusp and around Fantasyland, right?
Adventureland.
It's in Adventureland. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Like, why? It just seems like a weird place to put a bar. It just, to me, like, and the fact that we're on all these kids rides and
yeah, but Pirates of the
then
Caribbean
we're
is
just
kind of
rolling
like
out and being like, sure, let's grab a beer. Like, it just
Pirates
seems
of the
strange.
Caribbean is a somewhat adult. It's a
Adult
little
ride?
bit adult themed, right? I mean, it's not an adult ride. Kids go on it. Our kids love it for some reason. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? Even for being like a ride that started at the beginning, it's been around since the beginning of Disney World. I mean, it's a big deal in that it's like it's the first bar that's in Magic Kingdom, right? Up until now, if you wanted an adult beverage, you had to go to a sit-down dining. You had to make a reservation for it.
Sure.
So now you're going to be able to go to a bar. The bar itself is going to have like kind of two sections. One side's going to be an actual bar, and that's where like you're going to see things like the Barker bird, which is the bird that talks, I guess, smack to you. Fun. And then there's going to be on the other side of it, it's going to be more like a lounge.
Okay.
And that's where like you're going to be able to bring your kids into.
Gotcha.
They're going to have, adults and kids could get drinks there.
All right. Okay.
And so I don't know. I think it's going to hang out because there's kind of like that, right? Because when you're at Pirates, and then across from Pirates was always those quick service restaurants, and then then you go a little further back, it's the Tiki Room and you get the Dole Whip stuff. So it was always kind of like I kind of never paid attention to that area.
Yeah.
Beyond Pirates, So now you're turning as you're going over, you go through Frontierland and Tiana's Bayou's right there. It gives you it's going to bring a little bit more, I think, attraction to it. To coming and hanging out. It kind of seems it's far enough away from the entrance where it's not going to call, it's pretty far away. It's in like the corner of Magic Kingdom to the left. I think it'll work.
Okay. If you say so, your bars, right?
Oh, that I do. That I do. Talking about lounges, we're going over to Epcot, and there's going to be another lounge opening in Epcot behind Spaceship Earth. It's going to be like a Spaceship Earth lounge. I don't know if that's official title. I hope not. They can come up with something better, but this is going to be really cool. The way it's going to be set up is that it's going to be somewhat elevated. You're not going to be taller than Spaceship Earth or anything like that, but you're going to be able to get a good view of Epcot.
Okay.
Looking over Communicore Plaza and, looking into like the World Celebration. And so I guess seeing the fireworks are probably going to be amazing from this spot. And you'll be able to sit down and drink. I wonder if they're going to do like a fireworks package where they're going to say, everyone, 8:00, get out and give me $150 to hang out here and get some snacks that are going to give you I'm going to say agita, but, but it's just like the dessert parties at the fireworks
Okay. Yeah, I could see how they need this. This is nice. Here. It makes sense to me here.
Yes. So that's something. And, Spaceship Earth. It's something. So you're going to get a good view of fireworks and so on and so forth. Going back to Hollywood Studios, which this is part what Abby just talked about was the Little Mermaid, right? That's supposed to be open. The new show is supposed to be opening sometime in the summer of 2025. That's where it's now being pushed to. As they said, fall of 24. Now it's summer of 25. Again, why? We couldn't tell you. From what I understand, it's supposed to be pretty cool, like the tech behind it. It's supposed to be pretty amazing. There again, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a live action puppet Ursula, which I guess was around before. That was kind of scary, which is still going to, I think, be there. But then there's also going to be a animated Ursula, which is going to take part in the scene where she's fighting against Ariel and Prince Eric, like in the Maelstrom. You know, they have the and like that's going to be animated, so she's probably going to be huge. And so it could be like this amazing thing. They showed kind of like of a actor at a green screen acting. Doing the acting for Ursula.
Interesting.
So, that's something I might go check it out because I heard the tech looks awesome. I'm going back and I'm thinking about what park I'm going to now. I'm kind of spinning around the world, all 4 parks. Going to Epcot. We're talking Test Track. It's been closed since summer of last year. They're saying that it's going to be opened again in late summer of 2025.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be before Test Track was open, it was called the World of Motion. Right?
Oh, boy.
And it was just a ride that was very boring, and it went around, and it was kind of like Spaceship Earth, but talking about travel, right? So they're saying that they're going to blend World of Motion with Test Track.
Yes.
Most people are predicting that the World of Motion part is going to be part of the queue, and then you're going to go into the actual ride. They just had an Imagineering video released where they showed the inside of the Test Track, like you saw it, but there was so much scrim you couldn't see really any part of the ride. So it looks like it's actually being entirely redone. So it's not like they're just reusing sets.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like they're just redoing everything.
I mean, it's time, I guess, but it's crazy.
So they said the queue will feature 6 exhibits and ride scenes will feature technology, customization, personalization, culminating in an outdoor route celebrating the joys of driving.
Yay.
So that's something I'm down.
Yeah.
We'll check it out when it opens.
I mean, bummer that it's late summer 2025, but hopefully it's not too late.
Hopefully not too late. Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. You're hitting the road. You're getting no love in this elevator because your sweet emotions are we don't want to miss. We do want to miss that thing. Aerosmith's got to go. Anyway.
Wow. That was awesome.
Yeah. So we are, Rock and Roller Coaster will be closing at some point this year. They didn't say when exactly, because as we also know, Muppet Vision 3D is closing.
Yeah.
To make room for the new Monsters Inc. land.
Yeah.
But Muppet Vision will be taking over for Rock and Roller Coaster, and it's become like the Muppets are invading that area. So they're just kind of moving over, right? They're not gone for good, but we love Muppet Vision 3D.
We do.
But it will be closing.
It's so sad.
But
I'm so excited for what's coming.
For the Monsters Inc. land.
Yes.
It's funny how our kids don't remember watching Monsters Inc.
I mean, literally every single day when they were like 3 and 4 years old, this was like their thing.
Even though they remember, if you say Mike Wazowski, they like know exactly what you're talking about, and Sully and everything.
So it's somewhere in there.
Yeah, so that's something there. Other big news, destination D23 is going to return to Walt Disney World. And it's going to be coming at what seems to be they're pushing more, like they've really been building up this resort at Coronado Springs. This is where it's going to be held.
Yeah.
Abby and I took a tour of Coronado during our AEP trip, and they showed, right, it's actually built for conferences.
Yes.
Built for businesses, and like even the rooms are like they have these desks, and you can like, it's built for businesses, and they have this huge conference area that, is right for D23. It's also like Coronado Springs is a little bit off. It's like off the beaten path a little bit. It's not really near anything. But it's
It
also
is, yeah. It's kind of out there, but it's beautiful. And
no,
so clean.
it's a
It feels
great
like,
it's a great because they just added right. They had like these villas, I guess, that have always been there, and now they built this Destino Tower
yes.
that is this huge skyrise hotel, and on top it has these great views. There's a Michelin rated
Yeah. Restaurant.
restaurant, and it's called Toledo, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And then there's like a lounge bar on the other side of it, and it's going to be a big hit. Everyone that like we've had travel specialists that have stayed there, and they've enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
I mean that was like something we've always considered, but we just we haven't pulled the trigger on a Coronado Springs, but I could see it happening at some point. D23 would be well fit.
Yeah. So get your reservations now if you're planning on going.
Right. So the other big thing that's happening in 2025 is, well, it's actually happening tomorrow. We're recording this on the 5th, and tomorrow on the 6th, we got ride closures happening. The big one is
there's so much.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Goodbye.
It's closing down.
2025.
Yeah, you're not going to see this in 2025.
Yeah.
Like it's going to reopen sometime in 2026.
Upon reflection, I'm so glad we took our kids on this last summer just because it's not one we normally hit. And for some reason it came up in conversation and they're like, oh, we want to try it. And I think we didn't because it's like a bumpier ride. And we tried it and they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it so much. So I'm glad that
really,
I know we'll be missing it this year, but I'm glad we did it.
And they're saying it's going to be a complete overhaul. We'll see what happens. And then that's part of because of the fact that, right now, Tom Sawyer's, the riverboat and everything, the rivers of America, Tom Sawyer's Island is going to get filled in with gravel. They just
I can't imagine it. I'm trying to.
They just took out a permit, right? That I guess there's been a lot between the Florida, the government of Florida and Disney. They've just been going back and, it's the ecological impact and all that stuff of how they're going to design everything and where the water is going to go. And it gets very technical and you have to be an engineering degree to figure it all out. But because that's going to close down for the Cars ride. Right?
Yep.
And then on top of it, behind Thunder Mountain, which was known as the Beyond Thunder Mountain project, right? That's where the Villains Land is going to. Again, that's not a 2025 thing. They're probably looking at 2027, I think they said for that.
Yeah.
So we got plenty of years to speculate on that going forward. Cars Land also not 2025, probably 2026 maybe. And then that's when Big Thunder Mountain. So it's going to cause a big Magic Kingdom over there. There's nothing to do past Tiana's Bayou. It's just going to cause a big, you're taking away a big section of it. Without Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which is still one of the more popular rides, it's just going to push all those people to other rides. So the queue lines are going to get a little longer at everywhere else. And because it's just going to cause like a log jam over there because that the Rivers of America, it kind of, it spreads from, if you think about it, from Tiana's Bayou and it wraps all the way around to Haunted Mansion. Then you have everything, the Country Bear Jamboree and the shooting, whatever the shooting gallery is going to be. And the Hall of Presidents is over there too, but boring. Anyway, so that's kind of like the Disney World of it all. There was... What else was closing tomorrow? No, it's the Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yes.
With in Epcot. So with the three
the three amigos.
The three amigos.
What are you getting lost with?
The three. Oh my God.
Caballeros.
Caballeros. There we go. I couldn't think of the word. I was just saying banditos, but that's what is that all about? So that's closing. That's going to be closed for, I think, about a month or so, they're saying. And then the other ride there was a second ride closing. There was a third ride closing tomorrow.
Hold on. I can tell you. I just didn't close my magical minute. So we Cali River Rapids.
Yes. So Cali River Rapids closes every year for a refurbishment because it's an outdoor water ride. And that's going to be closed through February. They're saying March is when it's going to reopen. So it's also kind of cold. People really don't want to get wet. Even in Florida, I would have no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's going to be closing for the year. Now, I also included, because I know we normally only talk about Disney World, I got some Disneyland that actually has some exciting things happening, because they're going to be celebrating their 70th anniversary celebration. Abby's not aware of that.
I did know that it was the 70th. Sorry, I had some travel agents checking in with me. They did have the 70th, or they're going to have the 70th, which is really exciting. They like to bring out all the celebrations.
They're celebrating the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
So it technically kicks off on May 16th, and it's going to continue through the summer of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing back a whole bunch of stuff. There's going to be a big medallion, which people love medallions on castles. Cinderella's castle had a big 50th anniversary that they just went through. They had this big medallion, and people loved looking at it. And it was like it was all over the park. And so, Sleeping Beauty Castle is also going to have a 70th anniversary medallion. And they're bringing back a bunch of new. They're debuting and bringing back a bunch of new shows. They're bringing back 2 fan favorites called the Paint the Night and Wondrous Journeys. Paint the Night was a nighttime parade and nighttime spectacular. Is what Wondrous Journeys is, which it's featuring fireworks right on select nights, and that will return to Disneyland Park on May 16th.
Woo-hoo.
So that's something to look forward to. They also have a new cinematic retrospective, Walt Disney: A Magical Life, and will debut in the Main Street Opera House. And it's going to debut the first ever audio animatronic depiction of Walt in his office.
I'm excited about that. That's cool.
It's showing Walt kind of leaning on his desk, like talking. And the animatronics that, they keep upgrading them and getting better, as we saw in Tiana's. So, I mean, it might actually be Walt. Who knows? Who knows? They're also going to have a new Disney's California Adventure is going to introduce World of Color Happiness on May 16th. See, everything's happening to coincide with the 70th.
Yep.
But World of Color, which is it's like a projection fountain water show that happens every night. And now it's going to be called Happiness, and that's because, what's like the biggest hit of the year, Inside Out 2. So let's keep pushing them into the parks. It's going to be it's all through its themes of happiness and emotions through scenes from Disney and Pixar films, including Turning Red, The Lion King, and a Goofy movie, which everyone remembers.
Yeah, no.
It's like they had to reference that one. Yeah, exactly. It also pays homage to Walt Disney's iconic opening day dedication. To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Such big words.
The other thing is that they're going to have a Better Together, a Pixar Pals celebration. It's a daytime parade that's going to be, it debuted last April during Pixar Fest, and they're going to be bringing it back for 2025 as part of the anniversary celebration. So that's something cool to look forward to. Now, something that's closing, there's not too much else. I didn't see too much else like closing necessarily. They're still working on the queue for the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been a little controversial. But the one thing that is closing is that if you've ever been to Disneyland, you've seen the red car trolley probably going through, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a trolley that's going through a walking path. That's going to be closing permanently. So the red car trolley closing on February 8th.
Okay.
And that's in part to make way for the expansion of the Avengers campus.
Okay.
Which again isn't going to be open this year, but they're just closing it down to get ready for.
I remember getting on that.
Oh. Okay, you do remember.
Yeah.
So you could say I rode the trolley.
I can. Aw, okay.
So that's kind of the Disney wrap up. I did, and this is something I didn't send to Abby, was a Universal, right? So we'll do this quickly.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Universal.
So, what's happening in Universal Parks in
Oh
2025?
boy. So we got Epic opening.
We got to, and we'll get to that in a second. First, we want to talk about Universal Fan Fest nights.
Ooh.
Are you aware of what those are?
I mean, semi, but you tell me.
Okay. So they're going to be private ticketed events similar to Halloween Horror Nights
Right.
at Universal on select nights, and it's going to be themed towards certain IPs. Like it's going to be a Harry Potter night. They're going to have a Back to the Future, or Star Trek,
awesome.
a Dungeons and Dragons, something called One Piece, which I think is an anime, and it's Jujutsu Kaisen, and of course Nintendo.
That's really cool that they're doing this. They've had a lot of success with the, I think it's Orlando Informer does like just Orlando Informer nights where they go on all night long pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's closed to regular people.
Regs.
Yeah.
The
So
norms.
they, and they host a lot of private parties at night at Universal. So this is great. I'm glad that they're opening this up. It just makes it more accessible for people.
And this is like something they're encouraging cosplay.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be, you're going to see a bunch of...
But there's going to be a lot of rules, I think, about no
masks
face
and
coverings and things like that, and no swords. So
we'll
you
get
just got to
to
keep your eye on
we
for
just
that.
we just let the no fun police
overall-
in here.
Overall,
We'll let the
sounds
no fun
really cool.
police in. But yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. Something to look forward to. It's going to be held on select dates April through May. So, ask your travel specialist or just go to the Universal website. Obviously, Halloween Horror Nights is going to come back 2025. They said it's going to take place from September 4th through November 2nd.
Okay.
Well, that's actually in Universal Hollywood. Those are the dates. The dates for their Orlando have not been announced yet, but expect something similar.
Oh.
They usually do like one day in August. It's like a preview, like a special, whatever.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anyway, then the big thing is, obviously, it's Epic.
Epic.
Yeah, see, a musical accompaniment. It's Epic Universe is opening in May of 2025.
That's right. Huge.
Huge. So that's an entirely new park for Universal Studios. We've talked about it maybe ad nauseum, so we weren't going to go too much into it, but it's going to have all these different parks, different lands connected through one main hub, and that you go in and visit it. It's going to have a Nintendo Land. It's going to have a dark universe. It's all the Universal monsters. It has How to Train Your Dragon and a new Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic.
Yep.
They're all going to have new rides. We're going to talk about them throughout the year.
Yep.
We'll go over them again. We'll probably do an epically epic universe special at some point as well.
Yeah.
And because what else do we have to talk about if there's not new rides opening,
I'm excited.
or if they're
for it.
not beating down the disability people?
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, there's new hotels. There's the Universal Grand Helios Hotel, which is actually going to be in the park, which is kind of insane.
So cool.
But I want to check it out, even
Yeah.
though they're not giving you like express passes with it. But anyway, we
No,
won't get into
which
that.
makes no sense. Yeah, the ticketing is kind of turned me off.
So we were kind of looking at it because we were trying to plan our vacation, and yeah, there's still. Abby will tell you more.
All right. So the ticketing is really tricky for this. They do not have one-day Epic Universe tickets or just any Epic Universe tickets outside of. You have to purchase the other parks tickets, park to park. So for example, at first I think they started with you need a 3-day minimum park to park ticket for the other 3 parks to then be eligible to purchase a 1-day ticket for Epic Universe. Now I have seen that you can get a 2-day park to park ticket to be eligible for a 1-day Epic Universe, but you cannot just get a 1-day Epic Universe ticket.
Yeah.
So you have to pay a lot of money to see the other parks as well in order to get into this.
And they're saying that at some point they will offer it.
Yes.
But right now, with
They're saying it's because they want to control the traffic and whatnot.
They're just trying to
No,
make money.
I do think that they invested a lot of money into
Yeah.
this new park, and now they need to turn it around. That being said, I don't know. I'm not sure. This kind of rubs me the wrong way. So much so that I was like, okay, we're going to wait. We're not going to go.
Yeah. So we would not be attending Universal this year.
Because of that. Now, that being said, things change. They do offer a lot of TA classes and certain reveals. So if we get in on that, great. Otherwise, we will be reporting right here from our comfy studio.
If they're revealing TA, we're going to have to change the rating of our podcast. Oh, yep, I just said it. So that's kind of the roundup. So I don't know, Abby, we could probably tell them, are we planning on skipping Disney in 2025?
You know what? This was much talked about because Rob, do you see how I used your name? Because you said Abby before. We were worried about how the construction was going and that we were kind of tapped out on our last trip, but we also all got very sick, right? So we weren't thinking about doing this. Now, we had a spreadsheet going with all the possibilities of things
we had a
that
spreadsheet.
we could do this summer. We looked at the cruises. We looked at all the different options, but our heart wasn't in it, right? We are diehard Disney fans. Love us or hate us. Yeah. That's just who we are.
And that's why we have a Disney podcast.
Yep. And so we decided that, yes, indeed, we are going to go back. We are going to partake in the Disney dining plan this year, which we know all about, but we have not partaken in since pre-COVID. So we're really excited about this because we do feel like a lot of our budget goes towards dining. So we're excited to see how this pans out.
Especially if you like a sit down. If you like to sit down throughout your day at the parks or in the hotel or whatever, it gets kind of pricey.
It gets really pricey. And so I had a whole separate spreadsheet going for this, comparing what we were getting where we were staying and like what that looked like. So you know what? We're jumping in. We're doing it. We're excited about it. I can't believe that it's January 5th and like tomorrow opens up like camp registrations and all sorts of things. And I'm like, what? Our whole summer is going to be planned before February.
I hope so.
Insane.
I hope so, because I'm ready to go into hibernation because there's nothing. I got the post-Christmas blues. My birthday hasn't happened yet. The Super Bowl's not for like over a month. I got nothing. I'm hibernating the rest of January.
Listen, sir, you can hibernate for January because then dance competition season starts and we are busy.
One thing that I won't be hibernating for, because next week's our 100th episode.
That's right.
So in lieu of that, or not in lieu of that, because of that, we started our contest, our $100 Disney gift card contest, which you've gotten secret word number 1 on episode 98, which was before the holidays, before we took our little break, and then we gave our little impromptu, we're not doing an episode, but here's 3 minutes of us talking. And so now this is episode 99. So this is secret word number 2. And lo and behold, we've actually had some entrants. I can't believe it. People listen to us.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for you.
And I'm so excited for you to get a $100 Disney gift card.
Yes.
It's amazing. But anyone can join still at this time.
Right. But there is only one winner.
There is going to only be one winner. But you can join. And your chances are pretty great right now with the numbers, the turnout that we've had. If you can imagine. But this week's secret word for episode 99 was picked out not by me.
It was picked up by me, and it's my favorite word and my word for you all, which is Potineers.
There it is. Secret word number 2, Potineers. So there you have it. Now, mind you, if you remember, I don't know if you remember this, when I asked you, I was going through all this, and I was like, well, here, you pick episode number 2, or you pick the secret word for episode 99. And she said a word, and I kind of made a face, and she was like, "Well, then why did you ask me to just, like do this?" And I was like, "Fine, pick another one." And then she did, and I think I made another face.
I know, it's like I'm like, all right, so I apparently am not pleasing you with any of my answers, and this is your thing. So,
being married and doing a podcast and running a travel agency and living life is so much fun.
It is fun. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, baby.
So here's to another year. This is actually, I think we're almost at like our 2-year anniversary of the podcast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, especially if you consider how long we've been married. But yeah, no, so that's why episode 100 is coming up. We're going to have an epically epic, not epic universe episode, but we will be celebrating episode 100. And we appreciate everyone that's listened to any part of the last 99. And, enter our contest. Go to familytravelplanner.com and you just got to follow some of our socials and put your words in. We'll reveal the secret word number 3 on episode 100, and then we'll do the drawing as it closes out that following week after the episode actually airs. So that's I've talked myself hoarse.
Yep, and it's time for us to go. We hope you guys have a fabulous week, and we can't wait to hear from you.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.